Incremental games are an increasingly popular genre, with a focus on the infinite accumulation of resources and expanding your means of production. This game loop emphasizes an inverse difficulty curve, wherein progress is made most quickly, early on, but tapers off with time, eventually taking days of idling to make any meaningful progress. These games are designed to be left running in the background, farming a drip feed of dopamine like a Subway Surfers run constantly playing in the corner of an audio commentary. They are designed to make you feel as if you are being productive, without anything useful actually being done, and they are perfectly suited to the modern social media landscape. It is not difficult at all to imagine a lonely teenager doom-scrolling YouTube shorts while tabbing between 3 different incremental games and mindlessly eating a bag of chips just to maintain the baseline level of dopamine required to feel normal. We are cooked. And the problem isn't just that these activities are excessively dopaminergic, but also that they are most often open-ended, with no natural stopping point built in. In nature, all of the highly dopaminergic activities that we were able to partake in contain their own natural stopping places and a price of effort for participation. Sweet and fatty foods like honey, berries, and meat often required a lot of work to find, gather, or prepare, and were often seasonal delicacies. There was a limited supply and the need to share with others. The thrill of the hunt, getting stung by bees, or hours spent picking cognizant of the risk of a chance encounter with a bear were a price we were willing to pay in exchange for these hits of dopamine. I'm no expert on primitive sex, but I can't imagine cavemen gooning to Neolithic cave paintings for hours at a time. Now, I'm not saying that we aren't better off in many ways now than we were then, but the cost to participate in these activities has shifted. There used to be a direct correlation between effort expended and the physical reward. This wired our brains for difficulty. Now we pay for our cheap hits of dopamine with our minds. You wouldn't cut off your right arm in exchange for the ability to scroll in bed all day long, but we are willing to pay with our own agency and ability to do anything else. Are you going to record a song, make a video game, write a book? What's the point when the payoff might be days, weeks, or years down the line, and you need to feel good right now? I count myself lucky to retain as much agency as I do anymore, and I am no self-help guru. I started playing Cookie Clicker as a child, on the computers at my public library. We had no internet at home, so I was limited to my 2 hours of clicking before my session expired, and I sat there feeling hollow. When I was 17 and first had consistent access to the internet, I very quickly became dependent on YouTube, wasting untold days of potential and nights of sleep, watching content that was barely interesting to me. I got back into Cookie Clicker and started playing Adventure Capitalist, tabbing between the two. I never got very far in either game before I restarted my run to get that hit of dopamine from the initial exponential growth of resources. When YouTube Shorts released, that was game over for me. I was already going through a depressive episode, and this cocktail of technological dependence really helped to keep me stuck exactly where I was. People may discount media addiction as something of little import, but as someone with a history of substance abuse, I can confirm that they are very much one and the same. You are drawn in by the good feelings they elicit, and your brain is recalibrated to expect this higher level of stimulation, until your normal baseline of boredom and inactivity becomes something unbearable. It can take months and years to feel normal again once the substance is withdrawn, and even then you may be permanently changed by the process. I came across Universal Paperclips years ago, but had never played through the entire game until I was hospitalized last year. Over the course of 2 days, I dismantled every piece of matter in the universe and turned it all into paperclips. And then the game was over. That was it. I was stunned to find an incremental game that didn't cash in on the cycle and was perhaps even a commentary on the genre. When it was all done, I stared at my phone for a while in disbelief, then read The Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky and actually enjoyed it all the way through. Most games aren't designed with a safety mechanism against addiction, perhaps because it is actively detrimental to their financial success. There is no general warning that your life may take a turn for the worse as a result of choosing to engage with this game. It is assumed that the consumer has free will, and anything that occurs to their detriment is of their own choosing. Funny that cigarettes and alcohol are not treated the same way. If there was a drug that had the same effect as scrolling on TikTok, it would be illegal. I am not necessarily a proponent of putting tighter regulations on what games are made and how, but I do believe that developers should hold a moral burden for what they put out into the world, and we should be very picky about what we choose to consume with our minds, as we are with our bodies, and the minds of children doubly so. There is one other incremental game that I would like to talk about, perhaps the only other besides Universal Paperclips that I could recommend in good conscience. A Dark Room is a text-based incremental adventure game. There are many facets to it, and I was drawn in by the feeling of expanding my settlement, but when it was done, I felt that we had stopped at a good place, and I had no desire to draw it out any longer. These two games have much in common. They are both free to play, and feature a canonical narrative ending point that feels organic. If games of this genre are to be made, I believe these two should be the example and not the outlier. To this day, opening up my phone to a YouTube video when I get home from work, or in the morning on my days off, has a good chance of ruining my ability to get anything else done that day. If I could make a one-time choice that this would never happen again, I would push that button without hesitation. But it is never that simple. If short-form videos are the media equivalent of opiates, YouTube is like alcohol, something to be enjoyed occasionally, in moderation, and best in the company of other people. There are still things I love about YouTube. Genuine, heartfelt, creative people putting themselves out there. Creators that have grown up alongside myself. People spreading important messages. But these are almost never the things I end up getting sucked into, because I have no power over the thing. So I set time limits for myself. I restrict my access, and sometimes it works. Some days I am able to get things done that are important to me, even if it is as simple as playing a difficult game with creative merit. But in my mind, it still feels as though watching YouTube is the default action to take when I have free time, and it requires a deliberate, fatiguing choice to overcome that status quo. If you're stuck watching YouTube right now and looking for a way out, here's some advice. Go for a walk, or even just go outside for a few minutes. Make a cup of tea. Stop doing anything and evaluate what you want from your life creatively. What you can do right now, however small, to take a step in that direction. Write a 4-line poem. Pick up your guitar for 10 minutes. Scribble on a piece of paper. If you're procrastinating on going to sleep because you don't want to wake up and go to work, be kind to yourself. YouTube will always be there. You're not missing out on anything by turning it off. You will only get this night of sleep once. Thanks for watching, and take care.